Hi, I'm Chef Gail Sokol and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're doing something a little special. We're doing a potato sourdough starter, and this is a natural sourdough starter, and this is specifically for Elizabeth, who is a subscriber and asked me if I could show her how to make a sourdough starter from scratch. Here it is, Elizabeth, this is for you. But before we get started, I want you to click that notification button because I want you to become a subscriber. And I don't want you to miss any of my tips or videos because they're really, really good and they're fun and they're helpful. And I love having you with me in my kitchen. All right, this is the starter that I used for my last, because I have 3 starters in my refrigerator, and mine is 27 years old, and she is called the Yeastinator. So this starter, because she hasn't been made yet, is unnamed, but we'll see if we can come up with a name by the time we're done. So the first thing we're going to do is I am assuming something. I am making an assumption, sort of like a mathematician does that. I'm assuming there's wild yeast in your kitchen and there's wild yeast floating around in my kitchen because I do a lot of baking and cooking. So I'm assuming it's there. And if we attract them, they will come. So I am going to attract them with a specific sort of starchy water that I have made from a potato. So I took a medium russet potato. I have peeled it. I have cut it into about 1-inch pieces, like cubes, boiled it in water until it got soft enough that I could pierce it with a fork. And I am going to I took 3.5 cups of water. I used tap water. Do not use distilled water. You want water that's got minerals in it. You want to add some things that the yeast and the bacteria can sort of feed off of. So now I've brought it to a boil, 3.5 cups of tap water, and I have my chopped potato. It's peeled, make sure it's peeled, and I'm now going to get rid of the potato. I'm not going to get rid of it, I'm going to save it. Probably mash it with some cream cheese and butter. I love mashed potatoes, but you're going to save the water. The water is loaded with starches, and that's what our wild yeast in our kitchen is going to feed off of and grow. All right, so I have all my potato out. So goodbye, potato. We will use you at another time. And now what I'm going to do is take the temperature of this water. Remember, it was 3.5 cups. Because I cooked it for about 12 to 15 minutes until that potato got fork tender, I'm going to take a thermometer, and it is a little bit warmer than I want. I want about 70 to 75 degrees, maybe 78 the highest, and it's a little over 81. So I want 2 cups of water, potato water. I'm calling this potato water. I want 2 cups. So you can see I want it to go to 2 cups, but it's a little warm. So I'm going to leave a little bit under 2 cups so I can add some tap water that's cooler. And I put this in here before because I'm trying to get the temperature down. So right now it's over 80. I'm going to get it down, mix it up a little bit. It's going down a little bit. All right. I really want to get it cooled. Just mix this up better. All right. And if you feel it, it doesn't feel warm, but it's warmer than we want. We want to attract wild yeast. We don't want refrigerated yeast. We don't want the yeast you buy in the grocery store. We want wild. All right. We want wild. We are making a sourdough starter from nothing, which is very cool. And that's how I have made all my sourdough starters. So you're going to take 2 cups of the potato water. You're going to take a scrupulously clean, either plastic or glass, 1.5 to 2 gallon container. No top is necessary. We're going to be using plastic wrap. The reason is once our starter gets going, it's going to give off carbon dioxide. And I have found my plastic tops, my lids that came with the container have popped off. So plastic wrap will actually balloon out a little and will give a little. So I have my 2 cups of potato water, and if you feed them, they will come. So that's what we're assuming. I have 1 teaspoon of granulated sugar. There goes my thermometer. 1 teaspoon of granulated sugar. I'm going to mix that up. So that's something that yeast love. So they love sugar. So we're just going to give them a little, a little something, something. And I have 1 3/4 cups of bread flour. Preferably, you don't want it bleached, okay? So see if you can find bread flour in the grocery store that's not bleached. And you're going to mix this up. That's the beginning of our starter. Now the starter will take about 12 days, 11 days, 12 days. After the 12th day, you can bake with it. Very exciting. I was so excited when I could bake with my starter. It was crazy. I was waiting for this thing to grow, and I nurtured it. That was 27 years ago. So this is what it looks like. It doesn't look like much. It really doesn't look like much. Matter of fact, the first time I made a starter, I threw it out. It looked like baby vomit. That's disgusting. But I made it again, and the same thing happened. The same exact things happened. So I'm taking this, okay, potato water, and my flour and my sugar, and I'm going to cover it. And we are not going to do anything with this. I'm going to go through this process with you. Don't worry. And then instead of just leaving it like this, you want a nice big piece of plastic wrap. I'm going to move it over. And big rubber band. And you're just going to put it over the top. Okay? And you're going to make sure it's sealed so it doesn't dry out. It doesn't evaporate. All right? You just want to make sure everybody's in there. And the bacteria, there will be bacteria, natural bacteria that will come, and natural yeast that are going to come. So I made a schedule. You may not be able to read this, but on a big piece of paper, write down potato sourdough starter and the date that you started it, because that's its birthday. Okay, we're going to name her when we're done. So days 1 through 3, we're actually going to observe. Okay, so the first day, I have written down the first day, you are going to look at the starter. You're going to let it sit for 24 hours, and you're just not going to do anything with it. You're going to put it in a warm spot, maybe in a closet, maybe against somewhere that's no drafts are going to come, but it does not have to be refrigerated. Do not refrigerate it. And then days 2 and 3, so this is day 1. Day 2 and 3, we're just going to stir it once with my wooden spoon, with your wooden spoon. Stir it once, cover it back up, and look at it. Take observations. Things are going to happen. Things are going to happen, people. So be careful, okay? Things are going to happen. Nothing bad. It's not going to take over your house, okay? Halloween is over. But you're going to see how it looks. It's going to do things. It's going to maybe turn colors because bacteria are in there, natural bacteria, and there's going to be natural yeast. And they're going to fight it out a little bit, and the bacteria may win for a while. And then in a few days, day 4, we're going to start feeding it. So we're going to give it more flour, and it's actually going to start eating the flour because it breaks down the flour into starches. Starches are just chains of sugar. So the yeast, the natural yeast, will eat some of the sugars. The bacteria that are in there, the wild bacteria, they don't eat the same sugars as wild yeast. So there's going to be some sugar left over for those bacteria. That's the start of a sourdough. That's why it's called sourdough, because when you grow this, the bacteria give off acetic acid and lactic acids. That's what's give that little tang, that little sour quality to a sourdough bread. So we're going to harvest this. We're going to keep this in here, and we are going to create our very own potato sourdough starter. So Elizabeth, make this, watch it. I will see you. Remember, you're going to stir it tomorrow. You're going to stir it the next day, and I will see you. This is day 1, 2, 3. I will see you on day 4. See you back. Day 3 of our starter. We had no activity yesterday, and look at what we have now. Bubbles. Lots of bubbles, and it smells vile, but this is perfect. If you smell baby vomit now, it's perfect. So I'm going to stir it later after 24 hours from yesterday. I'm going to stir it and leave it alone and recover it. Tomorrow we give it its first feed, and I'll see you back in a few days. Our beautiful potato sourdough starter. It is so foamy, and it smells like baby vomit. Very sour. This is exactly the way it should be. The bacteria are outnumbering the yeast, and now it's time to feed the yeast so that they multiply. So today you're going to add 1 3/4 cups of bread flour, 2 cups of 78 degrees Fahrenheit water, and you're going to stir and mix it up. Remember, this is day 4. A lot of carbon dioxide in there and very smelly. It's supposed to smell sour. We're going to keep mixing it. And then once we mix it, we don't touch it for 4 days. So on day 8, I will come back and we will begin to look at it and begin to feed it 3 times a day on a regular feeding schedule. But it's very thin now. It was all bubbly and foamy, like at the top of a beer. All right. So now we're just going to let it stay like that. And yes, it looks very weird. Yes. And now we are just going to cover it. And I will see you back. Do not touch it for 4 more days. So day 4 is today. We're going to wait till day 8, and I will be back. All right, folks, it's day 9. Our baby has been sitting for about 3 days. She doesn't look beautiful, but she's a little bubbly and she's separated. Now it's time to feed 3 times a day. And this is where we actually begin to get to grow our baby and make her beautiful, where she'll look like a starter. So I'm feeding her starting today, day 9, 3 times a day with 1 1/4 cups of bread flour and 1 cup of 78 degree Fahrenheit water. And I'm going to be doing this every 4 to 6 hours for a total of 3 times. And then I'm going to leave her overnight. Tomorrow, I throw out everything but 2 cups, clean the container out thoroughly, and then put the 2 cups back in and start my 3 times a day feeding for another 3 days. And then day 12, we're ready to bake. See you back. We are on day 12, and boy, has this starter taken a change and really become a beautiful, you can see all the carbon dioxide that was in there. I just released it. You can see how beautiful she is, okay, and bubbly. And I'm going to feed her for the last time today. Remember, 3 times a day, every 4 to 6 hours, 1 1/4 cups of bread flour and 1 cup of 78 degree Fahrenheit water. And I'm going to stir her up. And tomorrow you can bake with her. So it's been 12 days. And remember, tomorrow I'm going to take everything I want out to bake with her and save 2 cups in this container. All right. It should be a safe container. And I am naming her Eliza Doolittle. So Elizabeth, this one's for you. I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you make my starter. And we'll see you next time.